In this episode of Laurie's Maine Inspirations, we're in the Costell Gallery again, or more precisely, we're on the other side because we're going to see Paloma Costell's work. And she had some really great stuff, even that little scrap of paper behind her that she just was doodling on. We're going to take a close look at that and see the great colors, even in a work in progress. Of course, we're also going to see Paloma's finished work, and we're going to take a close look at a lot of her paintings and see the lighting and what she sees in the world, what she notices, like these two folks, unamused or love the one you're with. Then we're going to find out more about the sisters, what it was like growing up. They're going to share some stories. We're going to visit their workspace in the back of their gallery, and Elle's going to brag on Paloma a little bit here, and Paloma's going to put up with it. So we learned a little bit more about the sisters. Then, at their suggestion, we walked down Steamboat Lane, a nature trail in Gardiner that ends in a fairy village. And these are whimsical little fairy houses that local folks have built. And like this one is just out of the corner of a basket. This one brings a bunch of different elements, some painted rock. I mean, they're interesting creations, especially this one, which I don't know. It's just very natural. They brought a bunch of stuff together there. Of course, some things are less natural. More obviously, houses, very colorful in this one, but then this one has kind of a Game of Thrones vibe to it, but also adds in some cans. So lots of stuff to see here. Let's get started and cue the loons. For years, my family's been coming to Maine, and my wife loves the place, and it's inspired a lot of her alcohol inks art. And now that she's retired and doing her art full-time, we're looking for more inspirations, and so we're creating this series to share that search and just to share the things we love about Maine while we go look for more things to love. Welcome to our second episode featuring the Costell sisters, and today it's Paloma Costell, and we're going to look at her work. It's really interesting.
She paints realistic, a lot of scenery, and she is very talented.
We like it. We actually bought some of it.
We did.
And so we also are going to hear a little bit more about their family, see a little more of their studio, and then we're going to visit something suggested by them in Gardiner, the cute little fairy village.
That was fun.
So we hope you enjoy it. After we finished talking to her, Elle Costell almost literally shoved her sister forward to tell us about her art. So here is what Paloma thinks about her art, what she sees. Paloma's the big sister, right? Tell me about what you do.
This is the wreck of the Sheridan, the DT Sheridan on Monhegan Island. It's pretty popular. I think a lot of artists gravitate towards it. It was a tugboat that ran aground back in the 50s. And it's just this big rusted hunk.
So everyone comes up to this tugboat and looks at its rusted hull. You know, what do you like about it? What did you see in it?
The history, the tragedy.
From a distance, you don't notice how much variation there is in the rust, and she's really captured the deep colors of the rust here. Then there was this little guy.
This boat was up in Lubec on the beach. The tide would come in and out, and the boat would just sit there. I don't know who it belonged to. What struck me was the big crack in the front of the boat, where it seemed like, you know, this boat has been tossed around in the rocks and the waves. It's been broken, and it's finally landed, like a lot of us do, on shore in a restful place.
Next to this was a painting of a local landmark, the High Hat, which is on the road between Hollowell and Gardiner. Now, I love the High Hat. But what do you see in the High Hat?
It's the nostalgia. It's this great big hat on top of this building. It's the drive-in that they don't have anymore. When I moved here to the area, I just drive past it every day, and I just get a chuckle out of it.
But okay, so you've got this blueberry field and it's red. Why? That doesn't scream blueberries to me.
This is when the leaves change over in the fall, and you're surrounded by the sea of red on all sides. Different shades of red, different ways the light hits the red. Quite impressive. This was inspired on my way to work again, driving every day through gray. And in the springtime, these buckets would come out, and the way that they were tilted just reminded me of a bunch of old timers coming out in springtime, catching up with each other, talking. It seemed to me like their hats were tilted. So that was the inspiration.
Who are these people? How did you get them?
This is early watercolor. I took photos of these people as I was going around on the merry-go-round with my son down in Saco at Funtown. They were definitely not amused at the amusement park, so I named it Unamused. They had ice cream. I don't know if they were sharing it. They were not speaking to each other. And so looking at them, it just made me think of that song, Love the One You're With.
We got to go back in the sisters' workspace, seeing their desks, and Paloma was showing Lori a lot of her pastels and how she does things. As they were talking, I noticed the pieces tacked up behind her, and I asked her about them. So are we seeing kind of early process with these things here, or
Yes.
Ideas you might do later, or?
Yes, these are all just sketches from our travels, and eventually they will make it to a canvas.
Even here, I'm getting light, some really nice light effects. Even here, on your early sketches, it's right from the beginning, it's in the process, it's cool. Taking a closer look, you can see how much the colors change and how much there is just when you look deeper.
Seriously, that's on a ripped piece of paper on your easel, and it looks great. So how long have you guys been doing this?
Oh, since we've been little girls. We have grandparents that were both artists, godparents that were both artists, father that was an artist. So we had it, there was no way of escaping it.
So our grandfather, grandmother, they met in art school in Hungary. They moved here, and we just grew up going to their art shows, openings, learning from them, learning by imitation. They all had different styles. Our grandfather was a teacher in New York, and our grandmother worked for a card company. She was one of their top artists.
No, we both sketched a lot. Our grandparents at Christmas time would always give us one of those incredible marker kits that have every color you can imagine, and that just inspired us. And every year we were looking forward to the next marker kit, and we would just keep drawing and sketching, and then made a career out of it once we got older. And she actually, well, we were both, you might know this since you're from Glen Ridge, there was a fire prevention campaign going on poster contest going on in the area. And she was in 6th grade, and it was open from 6th to 12th graders. And my father told her if she didn't finish the poster, and he gave her paper and the paint, she couldn't have her bowling party. So she did this poster in the 6th grade, and it won all out of the whole county, Essex County, and they made book jackets out of it. And they actually put a big copy of it in the Haynes department store window.
So what have you got there?
Oh, these are just old news clippings where we were in the newspaper for things that we had done. This was a painting that I did of the Dalai Lama in the late 90s. I worked with Yoko Ono and Richard Gere for a show about Tibet. And I was able to have a 2-minute interview with the Dalai Lama, and this was a painting I created. But I wanted to show you, this was a fire prevention poster that she did, and she realized that she had skill.
Reason enough.
Yeah. And so they made book jackets and sent them all over the county and of the state of New Jersey.
Cool.
And so we've been in the arts pretty much our whole life.
How did you feel being forced to finish your art for your Reason Enough campaign?
I was secretly very accomplished and satisfied with myself.
I love it.
I hope Paloma continues to be satisfied with herself because her art is really great. And we didn't get to all of it. There's a lot more stuff to be seen on the walls. There's more shipwrecks, and she's even got a ship that's still afloat. But there's also prints. We bought one. And it's the work in progress that fascinates me. Just the light, and this one's really beautiful, and it's just a sketch. So honestly, I can't wait to see what the finished product looks like. So to cap off the episodes on the Costell sisters, I just thought I'd contrast their workspaces. So here we have Paloma's desk with her pastels out, and she's ready to go. And here we have Elle's. And I really love the contrast between these two, and very different approaches, but great together. While we were in Gardiner, the Costell sisters said we should check out Steamboat Lane. This is a nature trail that starts at the waterfront park on the Kennebec and goes down the bank. Along the way, there's a lot of beautiful scenery, and here we have some rocks that people have stacked up, and well, that one looks pretty impressive actually. And you keep going, and about half mile down you get to the end, and there's this cute little fairy village that people have built these whimsical houses, and hey, I'm just going to let it speak for itself. Village is a great compilation of the work of a bunch of different folks, and I thank them all for that effort. And what's really cool is they have building supplies there so other folks can add to it.
Well, we hope you enjoyed that episode. We love the Costell sisters, and we really enjoyed visiting them. And our next episode, we actually don't have a teaser for. Old Hollowell Days hasn't happened yet. So we're going to go visit that and put something up next week.
It'll be fun, I promise. We did it last year.
So we hope you'll without a teaser, come back later.
Here's a shot of the sunset to go with the credits, and stick around for the colors in the water at the end. It looks like something Paloma would paint.